Rational root theorem. So like I was saying, when it says roots, rational root theorem, you have roots or zeros, or they're called x-intercepts. You should know those all mean the same thing. Roots, zeros, x-intercepts, solutions. It's all it is, again, is just roots and zeros are all the places your graph might hit this x-axis. That's what the roots are, or the zeros, or the x-intercepts, or the solutions. That's what they are, like in that picture. Like that picture looks like it has 5 places where it hits the x-axis. So it looks like it has 5 zeros or 5 roots. And I didn't put any numbers on there. I just, sketched something really fast. But yeah, the roots or the zeros or the x-intercepts, solutions, it's these points. It's where your graph hits the x-axis. So the rational root theorem gives you a list. What it does, it gives you a list of all possible answers that these could be. So let me give you an equation and we'll start and try one. So it's going to say find all possible roots. Using the rational root theorem or rational zero theorem. All right, so we'll give you an equation like f of x equals 9x plus 6x to the third minus 5x squared plus 6x to the fourth minus 2. Okay, the first thing you have to do is you have to put the equation that I just gave you in standard form. The equation I gave you is kind of all mixed up. I didn't put it in standard form. When you want a polynomial like that, a polynomial function, when you want it in standard form, they put it they take like the highest power in the problem and put that first, and then go down from there to the lowest. So you look at your exponents, and you want to put this problem in order from the highest power to the lowest power. Because that problem I gave you, it's not in standard form. What should go first? If I rewrote it again, what would be the first thing you'd want to write? Yeah, 6x to the fourth. This one should be first. Yeah, I kind of gave it to you all mixed up. So when you do your assignment later in class, yeah, you want to make sure you find the highest power in there, 6x to the fourth, that goes first. Then 6x to the third power. Then what next after that? Yeah, then the minus 5x squared. So you guys get that part, right? Just go highest to lowest. Then 9x, and then minus 2 at the end. Because I gave it to you all mixed up, you're going to have to watch. I did that on purpose because that's what they do on the assignment sometimes too. It's mixed up. Make sure you get it in order, highest to lowest. Because you need to find you need to have it in order because the last number in the problem is what you need to use to do this rational root theorem. You need this last number in the problem. They call that P. They just like label it. They just call it letter P. And then you need the first number in the problem, and that's Q. And if your problem was all out of order, you wouldn't have the correct P number and the correct Q number that they want you to find. Yeah, so this number is P, this number 6 is Q. So to do this rational root theorem, you list all the possibilities, it said. Find all possible roots. So we're going to list, we're going to look at the number P, which is a 2, and we're going to think of factors of 2. And we're going to put them over the Q number, and we're going to figure out factors of the Q number. The Q number is 6, so we're going to figure out what the factors of 6 are. It's always P over Q. And we're going to list all the possible combinations of all the factors of 2 over the factors of 6. And it's plus or minus P over Q. That's how we're going to make a list. And we're going to list a bunch of numbers, and everyone's going to be plus and minus P over Q. This is like the little formula you need. So P is the 2. What are factors of 2? What numbers go into 2? Okay, 1 and 2. That's it, 1 and 2. Those are the factors of 2. What are the factors of 6? Yeah, 1 times 6 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. So 1, 2, 3, and 6. Those are the factors of 6. So you're supposed to do combinations. You're supposed to put all the numbers. So let's just start with these factors of 2. Let's just start with the number 1. We're going to put 1 over 1. Then 1 over 2. Like we're going to put them in little combinations. So what's 1 divided by 1? Okay, 1. So one of the answers is plus and minus 1. And then you stick with 1 for a while. The factors of 2, let's stick with the 1. Then do 1 over 2. Plus or minus 1/2. That's another possible answer to the problem that they gave you. Then plus or minus, what's next? 1/3, and then plus or minus 1/6. This is a list of all the possible answers to that problem that we started with. Okay, so I did 1 over 1, 1 over 2, 1 over 3, 1 over 6. Okay, so now how about 2 over 1? Yeah, 2 over 1, that's 2. 2 divided by 1, that's 2. What's 2 divided by 2? Okay, we already have 1 in our list, don't we? So I'm not going to write it again. You don't have to write repeats. 2 over 2 is 1, so I don't need to write that again. We already have it. And then plus or minus 2/3, good job. And then the last one's 2 over 6. Yeah, like just to point out, 2 over 6, if you reduce it, if you reduce that down, that's 1/3. We already have that in the list, don't we? So I'm not going to write it again. You don't need to write things when they occur again. You don't need to write all the repeats. Yeah, so we don't need to write 2/3 or 2 over 6. It's the same as 1/3. We already have 1/3 in our list. So this is a list of all the possible answers to that problem. If I graph that problem, some of these would be the answers, like on the graph, on the x-axis. Not all of them, but some of those would be the right answers. And later, like next class, we'll figure out then we'll go to the next step and figure out which ones of those are the correct answers. But that requires like another step and to learn synthetic division, which I'm going to teach you next time. Yeah, we're going to get to that next time. So today, since we have the quiz, we're just going to do something that's kind of easy, something kind of short. So we'll have time to do a quiz and then do an assignment on this rational root theorem. So again, these answers are all the possible answers to that problem. if I graph that problem and look at it, some of these would be the answers. Not all of those, but some of those would be the correct answers. So it's just a possible list. So what do you think? It's not too bad. You know what some people do wrong is they mix up which number is supposed to be on the top of the fraction. You know, it has to be the last number. It has to be this last number, the factors of the last number, over the factors of the first number in the problem. Sometimes people switch that around. No, because every time it's plus and minus. Every single answer is like plus and minus, so you don't even really have to worry about that being a negative too, because every single answer you put plus minus anyway, so. Yeah, I just make see it's a 2, factors a 2, and factors a 6. And then make sure I list all those combinations. What do you think? You got it? Or should I do another one? It's pretty easy, right? Yeah, it's pretty easy, so. Alright, so we are going to do a quiz today. So I thought we could just review for about 5 minutes. And then we could do our quiz. And then you'll be good and set from there. Okay, so let me